Welcome to the Empowered Life podcast, where we explore the secrets to successful entrepreneurship. I am your host, Alice McFarlane, master coach, speaker, trainer, network marketing entrepreneur, and human design fanatic with a true passion for empowering others to tap into their confidence, superpowers, and their purpose. On this podcast, I'm all about cutting through the fluff and BS and getting straight to the heart of what really matters, achieving your goals and living the life of your dreams. So, whether you are an entrepreneur, a goal-getter, or someone on the way to becoming the best version of yourself, we have got you covered. I'm so excited to have you here. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to talk to you about what are you focusing on? Okay, so I want you to ask yourself that. So let's think of it in the context of your career or your business or your side gig or whatever it might be. Okay, although you can pop this into the context of anything. Okay, what are you focusing on? Okay, and I want you to kind of dig deep and go, are you focusing on what you want, or are you putting your focus into what you don't want? So let me kind of talk about why this is really important. Okay. So basically, I want to talk to you about the RAS, okay, which is the Reticular Activating System, okay? Now, basically what that is our brains are incredibly complex, okay? Incredibly complex. So much so that we can sift through billions of bits of data that are literally kind of thrown at us at any given time, okay? And somehow we don't short circuit, okay? Instead, we have to organize this information, and that's where the reticular activating system comes in and helps us. Okay. So basically, if you kind of think of it, depending what you're doing right now, you're not aware of everything that's actually happening to you. Okay. So I'm sitting here right now, unless I draw my focus to it, I'm not aware of how my shoes are feeling on my feet, whether or not I can feel the ground underneath my feet, whether or not I can feel the chair, how it's pressed into my back. I'm not aware of the sound the air conditioner's making, or, the sound of things going on outside, or, there's lots of things kind of going on that I'm not consciously focusing on, all that kind of bit, all those that billions of bits of information that are actually kind of getting processed and thrown at me. My RAS, my reticular activating system, is actually kind of filtering that out for me. So let me kind of talk about this. So basically, I'll give you an example. Okay. And I think this one is relevant for everybody, but have you ever brought a car? Okay. And basically, as soon as you leave the car yard, all of a sudden you see that car everywhere. You see that same make, you see that same color, or you learn a new word, for example. Okay. You learn a new word and now you hear that word everywhere. You've never even heard that word before, and you're hearing it pop up in the TV. You're hearing it when you're at the grocery store, something's popping up and you're just literally hearing this word everywhere. Does that mean that word wasn't around before? No, it just means that your RAS has brought that to your attention. So basically, the RAS is what I like to think of as a filtering system, okay? And it is your filter, and it filters the information in so that the important stuff gets through, okay? It makes you kind of take notice. That is your filter, okay? Now, why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you this, okay? This is why. Now, it is so important for you to be focusing on what you want rather than on what you don't want, okay? So we need to focus on what we want rather than what we don't want, okay? Because your RAS is continuously filtering all the information coming at you, okay? And it doesn't know the difference between what you want and what you don't want. So if you are focusing on why you can't do something, why you're not good at something, why you don't want X, Y, Z, that is the filter you're going to get. Okay. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on what you don't want, or are you focusing on what you do want? So how do you kind of fix this? How do you kind of shift your focus if you are focusing on what you don't want? So you need to do your best to, first of all, be aware and be aware of what you're saying to yourself, okay? Consciously and unconsciously, okay? So that your RAS is sending you opportunities. It is filtering the information, and it is sending you what you want, what you are working towards, okay? And again, focusing on what you want is like a muscle. Okay, I'll say that again. Focusing on what you want is like a muscle. So you have to keep using this for it to get stronger. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to wake up one day and all of a sudden you're going to change it so that you can focus on what you want all of the time. Okay, it's going to be, things are going to pop up and you're going to be aware of it. Oh, actually, I'm getting bogged down in my thoughts again, and I'm focusing more on what I don't want about this situation rather than what I do want within this situation or this challenge or this concern or whatever it might be for me. So now I want you to also think about this, okay? Because this wasn't always easy for me. It's been a skill, it's been a muscle that I've been working on, okay? However, if you find that you don't know what you don't want, okay? Sorry, if you find that you don't know what it is that you do want, it's okay just for that purpose or that activity to think about what you don't want, because usually you want the opposite of that and you can flip it, okay? So just for the purpose of working out what you do want, it's okay for you to be able to work out what you don't want and then be able to flip it. So I'll give you a little bit of an example, because quite often I'll be working with clients and I'll say, okay, tell me what it is that we're working towards. What do you want? And they'll know what they want for the first one or two things. But as we dig deeper, it flips and they start focusing on what they don't want. So it could be something like, I want to earn more money. I want to, have more time with the family, but I don't want to work weekends, but I don't want to work nights, and I don't want to be on call 24/7 or whatever it might be. So how can you flip those kind of things around so that you're focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want? So it might be actually sitting down, writing all of this out, and actually looking at it. Is this on what I do want, or is this on what I don't want? So that you can kind of be aware of how you're saying it to yourself as well. Because quite often the first couple of things come out are on that positive side of focusing on what we want. But then the next kind of couple aren't. Okay. And that's common. That's really common. So it could even be, when I'm talking to people and maybe helping them, with their weight loss journey or things like that. And we're digging deep and we're finding out what it is that I can help them with. And it could be things like, I want to lose weight. I want to be healthier. I want to have more energy, but I don't want to be weighing my foods and things like that. But I don't want to be feeling restricted or whatever it might be. But I don't want to give up the things that I love. So can you see how we need to know all of those things, but how can we shift it into something that is focusing on what you want rather than focusing on things that you don't want? So the first thing you need to do is to become aware, okay? Become aware of what it is that you are saying to yourself, what it is that you are focusing on, what it is that you are saying to others, okay? Because you need to work on yourself first, okay? So how do you do this? First of all, we need to pay attention to our thoughts, pay attention to our words, pay attention to our actions, because our thoughts create our words, which create our actions, which ultimately create our reality. All right. Hopefully this has helped you. And I will see you again next week. And don't forget, at any time, if you ever have any questions or you want to dive deeper or you have any other topics that you would like me to cover in upcoming podcasts, just send us a message. So depending on where you are listening to, you can check in the show notes or you can check in the Facebook group or wherever it is you might be. Just send me a message and I'd love to hear from you. Okay, bye everyone. And that brings us to the end of another episode for the Empowerment Life podcast. I hope that today's episode has left you feeling inspired, motivated, or maybe it has just given you something to think about. A big thank you as well to all of our amazing listeners for being a part of our empowering community. I truly appreciate your support, your feedback, and also the dedication you have to your own personal development. And don't forget, if you have any questions, suggestions, or topics that you would like me to cover in future episodes, or you would like to work further with me, I would love to hear from you. We will have all the information on how to get in contact with me in the show notes. So, until next time, keep empowering yourself, because the only person who can truly unleash your potential is you.